friends, it's Alex Worley. This week's Empowerista is Danielle Cuccio. She is the CEO of Cuccio Somatology. She is a blogger, a celebrity yoga instructor. You got a lot of titles, girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
You must be really busy.
I am busy. I am busy.
Yes.
Which is funny because I'm also a yoga instructor and I try to practice being calm at the same time.
You probably need that yoga for yourself a lot.
I definitely need it. I think we all need it, but yes, especially when we're busy like this, I need it so much.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we will talk more about that and how to incorporate it in your lifestyle. But first, let's talk about this theme that's in all of your work, and that's the connection between yoga and beauty.
Yes.
And I read that you think that yoga can be the root of beauty. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, sure. So I grew up basically in the beauty industry. My parents own a basically they manufacture nail products.
Cool.
So I grew up watching them, and they started by selling nail products on Venice Beach. So if you think about Venice Beach and you go way back, and that was 35 years ago.
Was it as hippie then as it is now?
No, they were like one of the first on there. So I know, I think about it, and my dad would take me when I was little, and I was like, this is weird. But he was like, I was like the only person there. So it wasn't as hippie. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And so I was really inspired by them. And my whole dream was to go into skincare. So after I graduated from UCLA, I went to beauty school, and I got kind of really sad when I started looking into skincare and kind of overwhelmed by the chemistry and how all my skincare clients, they would kind of want a quick fix. And I realized that, you know, beauty, true beauty, is really something that you have to really work on multiple levels. So you have to eat well, you have to drink a lot of water, you have to, you know, practice positive thinking, meditation, you have to really treat your body well. So basically that's when I got into yoga, and I realized that people were so much more open to listen to me, and I started my health blog at the same time, and people really wanted tips about beauty, about health, and it was so much more than just, you know, what skincare product are you using, you know?
So break this down for us. How can yoga help us feel beautiful and therefore look beautiful?
Sure. So at the time when I started practicing yoga, I hated yoga because I danced my whole life. So I really just liked hip hop and moving really fast. And I was like, I can't hold this pose for 30 seconds. I'm like, it'll drive me crazy. So I started doing it, and I started to practice more and more, and I was going through a breakup at the time, and I really started to feel good about myself. And you know, people would be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You look beautiful, you seem so happy. And I started to feel happy, and I feel like there's a moment when you're doing yoga and you realize, oh, I can maybe hear things that I wouldn't be able to hear otherwise. You know, things become so much more clear, and it's just when you're happy, you look beautiful. And I think
confident too.
Confidence is huge.
You can tell and see it when somebody's exuding confidence and happiness.
Yes, exactly.
So talk about the whole lifestyle component, because yoga really is a lifestyle, and it all goes hand in hand with beauty. So what other aspects, other than just literally showing up on the mat, would you encourage women to incorporate into their lives?
Yes, so it is a whole lifestyle, and that is really what Cuccio Somatology and what I feel like healthy living is all about. So you have to make sure that you drink enough water. You have to make sure that you eat healthy foods. And I'm not saying you can't ever eat ice cream. I love ice cream. I love sweets.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was about to write you off.
She's like, you're like, get out of here. No, I really love ice cream, and I love like treating myself. So my whole theory is kind of 80-20. You eat healthy 80% of the time, 20% you can treat yourself. Like, so
you can make that happen.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty close to that.
Yeah, exactly. So in that way you're not feeling like you're super rigid and you have to live this certain lifestyle. You can still have fun, you know? So sleeping is really important. Sleep, so making sure you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. There's so many components that can kind of throw you off. So if you're not really on top of it all, you know, that's going to really kind of mess with your happiness, your beauty, your health. It's just finding what works for you. And maybe 80-20 is too tough, and you're like, I can't eat healthy 80% of the time. Okay, well, let's do 70%. Like, you know, trying to find what works for you. There's certain foods that, you know, instead of maybe having ice cream, I have nice cream, which is like you can blend up bananas with chocolate. Like, there are ways of doing things, and I have a lot of recipes on my blog as well. But there's ways of doing things where you're still being healthy and making these changes without feeling like you're being a robot and, like, you know, being super serious and not being able to have that fun as well, but being healthy at the same time.
how do you know what is right for you?
Yeah.
How do you measure that?
Yeah, and that's hard. And it's always going to change because you're changing all the time. And I think that I know this is going to sound super woo-woo, but I think what's great about me is
like woo-woo, it's okay.
A little bit of woo-woo is good. And I try not to go overboard. But is having some kind of practice like yoga or meditation where you can have that time where, I mean, our lives are so busy. We're doing things nonstop. It's kind of really scary that maybe sometimes we don't even take a minute to pause and like really notice how we're living our lives and what we're doing every day, and if we even enjoy what we're doing. So having that pause, you know, even if it's 5 minutes a day where you can like close your eyes and just think, and I know some people are scared of that because our minds can kind of take over, but just having those 5 minutes, close your eyes and just breathe.
And just asking yourself if you feel good or not. That's probably, I know on your website you say something along the lines of, if you feel good, you'll look good, and if you look good, you'll feel good. And so if you just take a moment to pause, I mean, I don't even think that's woo-woo. It's just simple. It's like, just take a moment to pause. Anybody can do it, and ask yourself, do I feel good or not? That's probably a good measurement. I love that you're a big proponent of individuality, because that's one of Empowerista's core values.
Amazing.
And so how would you say that women can incorporate individuality when it comes to beauty specifically?
It's what makes you happy, you know. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but some women love wearing a lot of makeup. And being that, you know, I'm kind of in the beauty industry, you would think, you know, oh, well, she would love makeup, but I don't wear a lot of makeup and it makes me happy. Like, I like just putting on some mascara, or, you know, it's just kind of finding you. I think that's what makes you an individual, and that's kind of what gives you that confidence, and you got to be you. You can't kind of mock someone else. It's not going to work.
I think there are a lot of messages women are sent that they should look a certain way, or they should dress a certain way. But if you switch your frame of mind to thinking of it as a creative expression, and if you want to wear makeup, making it creative and expressing your essence, then it can be fun and creative. And there's not pressure, because it's more about you versus somebody else telling you who you should be.
Totally. So instead of, you know, reading the magazines or whatever, reading, you know, I don't know, going on TMZ and being like, I want to be like that person, instead use that time for kind of self-discovery.
So you are still a yoga instructor, but you're also a CEO now.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me how you got into CEO status when you started Cuccio Somatology.
So this is, you know, it's my passion. Yoga is my passion. And I started teaching all over Los Angeles to celebrities, professionals, people that really couldn't make it into a yoga class. And so I'd come to their homes. Sometimes we'd be doing yoga in like the smallest living room possible, but getting in their yoga, like seeing their face from the beginning of our session to after session, it was just amazing, and it just made me feel amazing. And in those sessions, I would use my products. So I would use oils, I would use a lotion. I would usually massage, you know, my clients' shoulders just to get them a little bit more relaxed. And people would just be responding. They wanted to know what the products were.
And so when you say your products, you mean like you had already made them before you took them to sell them?
So I was kind of blending my own oils together and doing things like that. And then basically I was like, I have to do my own product line. And coming that I was, you know, being that I came from a beauty background and like my parents manufacture their products, it was kind of like I would be so dumb not to do it. So basically that's how it started, and it took about 2 years. I met with chemists here in LA and made sure that the products were perfect and everything I wanted them to be, and just really perfected them. And that's what Cuccio Somatology is now. And you know, we're just, I mean, it's a dream come true. I mean, it really is. We're selling, we've only launched about a month ago, and we've already sold to like Yoga Works and big name studios.
Amazing.
So yeah.
But I love that you said it took about 2 years for the entire process, because that's a theme when I talk to Empoweristas, that nothing happens overnight. It takes a while. So you did it right, so you were able to hit the ground running once you started selling. But it took a couple years. Tell me about that whole journey of getting it going.
Yeah, I think that's really the toughest part, because you're talking to people and you're saying, oh, I'm starting this brand, I'm doing this thing, this new thing, and it's really exciting, you know, to whatever everyone is doing. And you want to talk about it, but then they're like, what's going on with that? And it's like 2 years later, they're like, what's going on with that? And you're like, I swear it's happening. So I think that you just have to have patience with yourself, and you just have to know that good things take a long time. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, you really have to remember that. And just having that end goal, that dream of yours. Like one of the biggest things in my classes that I love to tell my students is that believing in your vision and believing in yourself is like the biggest thing you can do for yourself. Like you can't doubt yourself, and that will happen. We're human. You can doubt, you can fear, you can worry, you can have anxiety, but remembering to believe 100% and just stay with that vision that keeps coming to you, and it'll happen. Like you just have to keep believe it.
So how do you deal with the fear and the doubt when it pops up and choose to believe in yourself instead?
Sure. I talk to my fiance a lot. My poor fiance.
Everyone needs that person that they can talk to. And just like,
it happens to all of us, and it's totally fine. But you know, you just keep pushing through. You keep going, and it's kind of in those moments where you have those fears and those doubts. It's actually a great moment because that's where you can kind of prove to yourself, like, wait, I actually can do this. And then something happens, you know, a week later you get an email and you're like, whoa, okay. And then the fear comes back, and then you just keep going. And you just have to tell yourself, like, this is normal. This is human. Yeah. It's okay.
And you don't have to wait until the fear goes away to take action.
No.
Like, you can be making progress and be totally active while you're fearful. So that's not an excuse to be like, okay, well, when I'm done feeling so scared, then I'm going to get on it.
No, that is so good of you to say. And I think use your fear as a way to drive you. I think it's like a great thing to be like, okay, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway.
One thing that I hear empoweristas talk about all the time is that gap between where we are and where we want to be.
Yes.
And that's so difficult sometimes.
Yes, totally. There's a good analogy, and if I get this wrong, we'll have to cut this. But there's a bamboo tree that takes, I believe, so for the first 5 years when you plant the seed, you see no growth. And then on the 6th year, it will grow like 90 feet, like super quickly. So really sometimes you can't see the progress right away, but then maybe one day, 5 years later, you will. And something will happen. You're laying a foundation.
And nurturing it.
Yes. And that's something that
it just shoots up,
It might not be overnight, but still.
It's never overnight. I don't know if you agree with this, but there's some wiser person than I that I'm blanking on who said, you can do everything you want, just not at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it kind of sounds like you built one thing at a time. You built your yoga business, you built your blog, and then you built your somatology business. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I do think so. And I mean, I definitely, right now I feel like I have a lot going on, but I definitely built each first, and then that way I could understand each. But I think putting your energy into one thing at a time is very smart. And it is a building process. So I think that's a really good tip. I'm not saying us women can't do it all. We can definitely do it all.
And when I said one at a time, maybe one each hour, you know.
That might drive us a little crazy. It's probably why we're a little tired. But yeah, no, it's definitely true that you should take it step by step.
Or at least have your focus, even if you are working on a couple projects simultaneously. Like when you're working on one thing, give that one thing your focus before you switch gears to the next, even if it's that same day or that same week, month.
No, for sure, for sure. The time can be, you know, different for everyone.
So it sounds like you have a lot of amazingly supportive people in your life. Were there ever people who doubted you that you had to deal with?
Yeah,
Tell me how you dealt with the haters.
I have found I have to just do me. And I think that's kind of a theme here with our whole talk today, is just do you and keep being you. And that will make you stand out. And as long as you're doing your passion, I think things will come your way. Like, you know, even if, and the great thing that I also remembered is that even if you have a hater, you have to remember that, like, there's enough to go around for everyone. We can all be successful.
Right.
So it's like,
and so it works the other way around too. When we see women who are like us or doing similar things to us, because we're all super unique, but when they're doing similar things, to remind ourselves instead of being jealous or comparing that, hey, there's enough to go around here. It's not either or. What do you think is the #1 thing that has attributed to your success so far?
I have set a lot of intentions, and I've set a lot of goals for myself, and they're all happening. And it's because I believe in myself and just really doing it and living that life and taking steps every single day towards that dream. And even if you're scared, even if you have a little fear, believing in yourself anyway, and just going for it.
Do you write these goals and intentions down? Do you say them out loud?
Yeah.
What's your method to make sure that you're constantly staying connected to them?
Sure. So at the beginning of some of my classes, we set intentions, and I used to think this was something really woo-woo, and I was not really into it. It's not woo-woo. We have to change this, mentality. So basically, you set an intention such as a statement, such as I am blank. So not I want or I wish. You're not putting it in the future. You're saying right now, I am. So, and every day it can change. Maybe it's a Sunday and you want to be more relaxed, and you say I'm relaxed, whatever. I am happy, I'm at peace, whatever. So I set intentions, and I believe that if you repeat these intentions to yourself, maybe throughout the day, or if you want to write it, some people like to write it on their mirrors when they wake up, they're brushing their teeth, just to remind yourself of what your intention is for the day, for the year, whatever that is. I also write down, I have a journal, and I write down things that I want to accomplish, that month, just to keep growing, keep pushing myself. And then also there's a great thing, vision boards. Have you heard of that?
Of course.
Yes.
Just did one in January.
Amazing. Well, there you go. So I do vision board workshops.
So explain to people watching in case they haven't heard of them.
So vision boards, basically, you map it out. So you have different sections. So you can have your love section, you can have work section, maybe people you want to work with, home section, maybe what your future home you would dream of it looking like. And so basically it has these different sections. You take photos, you glue them on there, maybe they're words, things that inspire you. And the great thing that I have this up in my office, and I still look at it, and I actually created this one like 2 years ago, so it needs a little updating. Yeah. But you can see things like come to life, and it's so creepy. I put like year I'm getting engaged, the year I'm having my first kid, and I mean one of them has already like happened. So, and I got engaged last year, which was right on there.
So now a kiddo's just around the corner. Is basically what you're saying.
I think I put 2 years. I think I'm putting 2 years. 2 years from now, so we're good.
Oh, you can do timelines too.
It's a total.
Oh, that's perfect.
Real, it's kind of creepy, but you can get as specific as you want. I'm a little crazy.
No, I love it.
But the cool thing is like even pictures of people I put on there, like people I want to work with, like it's all coming to life, and it's really weird. But if you have this in a place in your house where you keep looking at it, keep reminding yourself what it is that you want, what it is you want your life to look like, it kind of starts to happen. Yeah, it's really cool.
Intending it.
Exactly.
Cool. And real quick, what is your definition of empowerment?
So my definition of empowerment would have to be doing what you want to do and living your life the way you want to live it. That's empowerment.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Your story is so inspiring. Let us know what is your definition of empowerment by using #EmpowerRista, and we will show you some social media love.